for all the survivors of the industrial schools, to the people of Ireland. For over a century, a judge, acting on behalf of the government, the people of Ireland, and the Department of Education and Science, exercised his power to sign a state order to have tens upon thousands of innocent children committed to different state institutions up and down the length and breadth of Ireland. The children were entrusted to the care of the religious orders under the supervision of the Irish Education Authority. Whole families were devastated by being split up and divided. The children were to serve long, hard, lonely and brutal years in these institutions. We were physically, emotionally, psychologically and sexually abused. We were totally neglected. We were denied every form of human compassion. Our identities as human beings were stripped away from us, and we were identified by numbers. Life for us children was to become one long, hard struggle, trying to overcome the enormous disadvantages bestowed upon us by being institutionalized. Our education was totally deficient, so much so, thousands left the institutions illiterate. We left the institutions with little or no conversation skills whatsoever, having had it beaten out of us, and therefore we had to spend a large proportion of our lives in solitude and loneliness, shunned by normal people because we could not converse. We have had to overcome our ignorance in every aspect of a normal life. Being very naive, we were crippled emotionally and educationally. Many of us have lost sons, daughters, and family through our inability to give and accept love. We were unable to respond to any form of affection or compassion because of the callous indifference bred and beaten into us in the industrial schools. How does one measure the cost of a lost childhood? Those formative years where family values, moral values, bonding with siblings, education, and all the social skills and graces are learnt as the basic building blocks for life, where a child learns through fun and play how to get the most out of life. We, on the other hand, had to perform tasks like emptying animal cesspools, and we were being sexually abused as children. One of the greatest crimes committed against us, apart from the many forms of abuse inflicted upon us, was the total ignorance we had, which deprived us of even a fighting chance of making our own way in the world. We were put to work as babies, and we were beaten and flogged when we didn't perform the tasks assigned to us. How could the government and the people of our country ever repay the debt they owe us through their indifference to our cries for help? How can you repair the mental damage caused or stop the nightmares when they occur? We were the lifeblood of this country. We were precious and we were totally neglected. We were thrown to wolves to be savaged, abused, and treated like animals. When we cried, no one could hear us because we were locked up behind great walls and doors. Our tears eventually stopped, and we became like them, animals in thought and act. We were the forgotten children of Ireland. No one cared or gave a shite whether we lived or died. There are no second chances to relive a life. Therefore, the memories of our childhood in the industrial school system will always be ones of terror and anxiety, loneliness and fear. When we reflect on our lives, the enormity of what has happened, or the enormity of what we have lost as a direct result of the inhumane way that we were treated as children, fills us with sadness and with shame. We believe now that the redress bill is another cruel pretense of token atonement. We have had to relive vividly the horrors suffered in the industrial schools to total strangers. We have had to confront our most hideous nightmares. We feel totally defiled again. We were not listened, we were not believed or listened to as children when we told of the cruel and callous way we were brought up. We are skeptical now in thinking that anybody really cares or wants to know about us, the forgotten children of Ireland. We are now, as we were then, a total embarrassment. Many of us survivors have very little hope of building careers or having happy homes and stable family lives. There is no restitution that can undo the harm done to us. There is no restitution that can give us back our childhood. There is no restitution that can take away the nightmares when they occur or relieve the fear and anxiety attacks as they frequently happen. The people and the state of Ireland, our people, our country, our faith, have caused us to suffer enormous hardships and pain throughout our lives. We are living proof of the inhumane chapter of Irish history that lasted for over 100 years, and the industrial school solution adopted by the government and implemented by their representatives of dealing with innocent children. It is a legacy that would bring shame on any country. The two most powerful institutions in this country, the government and the religious orders, are now doing battle legally and morally over who should protect the taxpayer from the fallout due to the Commission's report. No one is listening to us, the survivors. Our response is directed to the heart of Mother Ireland and not to government, the religious orders or the judiciary. If true atonement is sought by everyone in this country, then please tell the government to pay to every survivor of the industrial schools the maximum that is allowed under the redress scheme. And the cost is to be shared equally between state and church. Then the heart of Mother Ireland can say to future generations of Irish children, hush, fear no more, dry your eyes, you are now safe. And the history books will read that it was the heart of Mother Ireland, that spark of human tenderness and love, which was missing in all our lives, that finally gave true restitution and peace to us, the forgotten children of Ireland.